there's a million tutorials out there that'll show you how to create ad videos or how to run YouTube ads. So what I want to do differently here is I want to show you how to do ads that actually work, ads that actually get people to click, that get people's attention, that get leads, and ultimately get sales. So that's what we're going to do here. I've done a ton of these myself, and I've got it pretty much down to a science by now. So I'm going to pull back the curtain and give you behind the scenes of how I do this. There are basically 4 steps to this. There are 4 steps to creating a winning YouTube ad. So step 1 is planning. Step 2 is scripting, that is writing out what you're going to say in the ad. Step 3 is making the video itself once you got the script. And then finally, step 4 is editing the video. And so with those 4 steps, you can create a high-performing YouTube ad. So let me get into it here. So this is my YouTube ad script template, which, by the way, if you want a copy of this, I'm happy to give it to you. I can put a link somewhere around here where you can get it. But yeah, this is the script template that I've used to create YouTube ads that have generated over 35,000 leads and countless sales for my market dominator clients and myself. It's simple, it's easy to implement, and it works. You don't need a fancy camera, studio setup, or fancy editing. In fact, you don't even have to be on camera at all. This works great with AI-generated voice and video, which is something I'm going to show you just a bit later in the video here. And the reason for this is because of the message. If the message is strong, if it resonates with your target audience, then the production quality really isn't that important. The message is the most important thing. So here's the structure, and here's kind of step 1 is the planning, is figuring out all of these things. So there's 9 different parts to this, and you don't necessarily have to have all of these, but if you do have all of these, then you're going to have an ad that works really, really well. So the first part is a hook. That's the very beginning of your ad, which is something that's attention grabbing, that transfers the attention from the viewer from the video they were about to watch to your ad video. So you got to consider the context of somebody when they see a YouTube ad. They don't want to see your ad, right? Nobody wants to see your ad. They click on a video that they actually do want to see, and then your ad comes up and interrupts them. So in order for them to continue watching their ad, the first 5 seconds before they're allowed to skip the ad has to be attention grabbing enough and compelling enough that they want to continue watching your ad instead of skipping and going back to the video that they were going to watch. So that part's super important. That's the hook. The second part is a promise. You tell them what you can do for them. The third part is the benefits or the costs. So this is the ways that they will benefit from your promise, this thing you can do for them. How will they benefit? Or what do they have to lose by not getting the thing that you're promising? It could be what painful situation are they in now that your promise is going to solve for them. Then you need a mechanism. This part is super important. You need to logically explain how you can get them this benefit, preferably in a way that they haven't heard before. Now, this isn't always necessary. It depends on what exactly it is that you sell. So if you sell pizza, for example, well, everybody kind of already knows how pizza works. You don't really have to explain it to them. But if you have this way that they haven't heard before, if there's something that makes your pizza unique, like you get the city tap water shipped all the way from New York City down to Florida, which I've actually seen that before, then that makes you unique because none of the other pizza restaurants in Florida are doing that. So you can talk about that's your mechanism for why you have the best pizza in the world. Now, qualification. This is getting the people you want to figure out who are the people that you want as customers or as leads. And this is especially important if your ads are designed to collect leads. If you're just going directly for the sale, then it doesn't matter as much because the algorithm will just figure out, okay, these people buy and these people don't, and it'll show it to more of these people. But if you're collecting leads, then it's really, really important because not all leads are created equal. Some people are great leads and some people are worthless leads that will literally just waste your time and never spend a cent with you. So this is really important that you get this part right, and you need to start by understanding who it is that you want as a customer and who you do not want. So like it says, you want to get the people who could potentially be a good customer to keep watching, get everybody else to leave. Now, objections, or objection handling rather. You want to tell your target customers why the reasons they have in their head of this isn't right for me are actually not true. So you want to have this in advance. You want to have a list of the objections that you normally get and how you handle those objections, and you can do that right there in your ad. And by the way, YouTube ads can be of unlimited length, and oftentimes longer is better. A lot of people think that an ad has to be short because TV commercials are only 15 seconds or 30 seconds. But a YouTube ad, a lot of times longer is better because you can explain more of these things. You can give a longer sales pitch. You can almost think of it more like more like an infomercial than as a regular TV commercial. Although I don't go that far. Like I don't go like half hour long, but I like to usually keep it within 1.5 to 3 minutes, which is a lot longer than a TV commercial. So have your objections and the way that you handle the objections. Call to action. So this is just tell them what to do next. You click this ad, call this number, come to this location, etc. And of course, you want to have something ready for where they have to go, like the page that they have to go to, or a phone number, if you want a tracking phone number, etc. And then minimize investment. So this is things that you say to make it seem like it's easier, right? So you show them why doing the action, the call to action, the thing you're asking them to do, showing them why it's easy and risk-free in terms of time, money, and effort. And finally, urgency. Explain to them why they must do the action now instead of putting it off till later, because most people are procrastinators, unfortunately, and they like, if you tell them to do something or you ask them to do something, even if they want to do the thing, a lot of times they'll say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week. And then most of the time it never gets done, right? Which is obviously a terrible way for people to go through life, but unfortunately, that's how most people are. So if you have all of these kind of ready to go before you write your ad script, it's going to make things a lot easier. So that's kind of the planning phase. Now, step 2 is to write it into a script. Now, I'm not going to actually demonstrate this for you because it would take a little while, and I like to be a little deliberate about my writing, but I've got an example of a real ad script to show you, and to show you all of these 9 components in action. And you can change up the order, by the way. It does not have to be in this exact order. Sometimes they do. I mean, like the hook has to be at the beginning. There's no getting around that. The call to action should be towards the middle or the end. And you can also, like, you can have multiple calls to action, which I'm going to show you. So here's my example. I'll go through it just a little bit at a time. This is what I'm doing. This is like the steps that I'm doing in each bit of text, and this is the actual ad script itself. So did you know that now business owners can get up to $500,000 in funding even if their credit isn't good? I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And if you give me 30 seconds, I'll show you exactly why that is. So what am I doing here? And oh, Lee asked for the document in the chat. I'll give you that real quick. Let me, there you go. Okay, so what am I doing here? Well, first of all is the hook, right? But I'm doing some other things as well. So if you're a business owner that has bad credit, and you want financing, then this hook is probably going to be pretty compelling to you. And even if you were interested in the thing you're about to watch, you're like, wow, this is really important to me. I'm gonna put that on hold and I'm gonna listen to this guy's video. It's also qualifying, right? So I'm saying business owners. I'm not interested in people who are not business owners. I want business owners. And so if you're not a business owner, you're probably just going to skip the ad because I'm saying essentially, hey, this is not for you. I'm qualifying the people that I want. And then I am handling an objection, right? Even if their credit isn't good. Because if I left that out, I'd say, hey, did you know that now business owners can get up to $500,000 in funding? They'd say, well, not me because my credit isn't good. Some of them, right? So I'm handling that objection right up front. And then I am minimizing investment. This little line, by the way, is just kind of showing empathy. It's like, I don't expect you to believe me. I understand that this claim might be hard to believe. I get it. Like, I'm a normal person. I'm not one of those crazy salespeople that's pushing this snake oil down your throat or whatever. And then if you give me just 30 seconds, I'll show you exactly why that is. That is minimizing the investment. It's only 30 seconds of your time. Is it worth 30 seconds of your time to get 500 grand in financing? Right? That's the idea here. I'm giving oh, and by the way, this is the promise as well. I forgot to mention that. So get up to 500 grand in financing. That is the promise. So I'm contrasting, hey, here's this big promise with this small investment of time. Okay, so next part. This one's a little bit longer. It's through something called alternative lending. See, the way banks work is they lend based on credit score. And your credit score is calculated based on how much credit you already have access to, how much you owe, how well you've made your payments in the past, and a few other smaller factors. The banks have been doing it this way for a long time, but alternative lenders do things differently. They actually don't care about your credit score at all. In fact, you could have never paid a bill on time in your life, and you could still get funding because alternative lenders are interested in your revenue. They want to know how much money your business is making, and based on that, they decide how much funding they want to give you. So this is why the thing works the way it works. So I just made this bold claim that you can get all this money even if your credit isn't good. So I have to answer the question, why should I believe you? Remember, I'm just some internet stranger. They don't know me from Adam, and I'm making this bold claim. Why would they believe me? And so I'm explaining the logical reason why this makes sense. And notice that this part is a bit long and it's only doing one function. That's kind of normal for a mechanism. And notice also that I am showing that this is different than what they've seen before, right? So what they've seen before is this. The way banks work is they lend based on credit score. What I'm offering is something different than that. It's a new way that they haven't seen before. So that's the mechanism. Now, next part. So this won't work if you just started your business in your garage yesterday and haven't sold anything yet. But if you have a business that brings in revenue, you can get funding for up to $500,000. This is a qualification. Basically, I'm not interested in people who have a business that hasn't sold anything yet, or they have a business that they just started and it's, they've sold one or two little widgets and that's it. I probably should have made this language a little bit stronger. I should have put a minimum. I should have said like brings in $10,000 a month or more in revenue. Whatever the like lowest bound is for who I'm interested in working with or who can qualify for the loan in this case. But notice I'm actively saying, like, if you're this kind of person, this is not for you. Like, go away. In nicer terms, hit the skip button. And then I'm saying, contrasting with, this is what I do want. Like, this is what I don't want. This is what I do want. So this is, if you're one of these, then this is not for you. If you're one of these, then it is for you. And I'll continue here. And you might be thinking, sure, but it's probably going to be at a ludicrous interest rate. Actually, no, these lenders' interest rates are about the same as the banks, sometimes even lower. So this is purely objection handling. People think, okay, and I'm anticipating the objections that people are going to have, right? People think, okay, well, that sounds pretty cool, but probably they're going to have a terrible interest rate. And I can call that out. You might be thinking this. And so that's why I say, no, they don't, that's not the case, right? And I could have made this a little bit stronger if I had given a reason for this. It's like these lenders' interest rates are about the same as banks, sometimes even lower, because what they've found is that for businesses specifically, revenue is a better predictor of whether somebody will pay the loan back than credit score is, which something I just made up off the top of my head. I don't know if that's true, but it's an example of giving a reason for that, which would have made this a little bit stronger. And then next part. And because alternative lenders don't have all the legal red tape that banks have, they can get you funding in as little as 1 day. So this is a benefit, and notice I'm framing the benefit with a logical justification, right? This is why this benefit exists. Because again, I'm just some stranger on the internet. I don't expect anybody to just believe me at my word. So I have to explain why behind everything I can here. And so get you funding in as little as 1 day, that's a benefit. It's also, you might consider it to be a investment minimization because it's less waiting essentially. Next part, if you'd like to access this new source of funding, give us a call at the number below. That's a call to action. Here's what to do next. And I always like to put some kind of if you're interested, if you like to, etc., as to be not come off as pushy, but that's just kind of my personal style. I don't know if it matters a whole lot. So give us a call at the number below. That's the call to action. Now, just because I've made a call to action doesn't mean that I'm done. I'm going to continue. I just put a call to action a little bit earlier in the script for the people that are like, okay, yeah, I'm in, and they don't need to hear anymore. And so I'm going to put another call to action later in the script after a little bit more convincing here. So I'm going to minimize investment here. We'll have a 5-minute conversation. We can get you in a decision in as little as 2 hours and get you funded the next day. So notice, it's only 5 minutes of your time. Another minimize investment. Just like it's only 30 seconds of your time to listen to my ad. Well, now it's only 5 minutes to talk to me. And by the way, just because I care a lot about honesty, and so I say, like, if you give me just 30 seconds, I'll show you exactly why that is. This is it. This is the explanation. I can do this explanation in less than 30 seconds. So I'm keeping my claim here. And I always like to make sure that I do that, because if they're listening like 5 minutes later and they're like, you said 30 seconds and it's 5 minutes later and you still haven't told me, well, my first impression to this person is that I'm a liar, which is not very good for business. So I like to be very meticulous about that and make sure that all my claims are true. Anyway, so 5-minute conversation. So basically, it's very little of your time. It's very little effort, very little investment. And then you only have to wait 2 hours to get a decision, and we'll get you funded the next day. So it's really quick and it's really easy, essentially. Low investment. Interest rates are going up. So the sooner you do this, the lower the rate you're going to be able to lock in. And there's a good chance you'll never see this video again. So that's 2 different reasons for urgency. So for one, interest rates are going up. So if you want, like, now is the lowest rate that you're ever going to get, because if you wait, then it's just going to go higher. So that's a reason why they should take action now instead of waiting until whenever. And then a second urgency, there's a good chance you'll never see this video again. I.e., you better click on the video on the ad right now, because if you don't, then you may never get this opportunity ever again. That's the idea. So if you want to get funding for your business, give us a call and we'll get the funds in your bank account in as little as 1 day. So just a second call to action. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So that's the script part. And this is where you should focus most of your attention, because this is the most important part. I say that ad nauseum, but like having pretty pictures and B-roll and like funny talking animals and all the stuff that you see in commercials and ads, like that stuff barely matters compared to this, the actual message of the ad. Okay, so now we got our script. The next part is to actually make our video. And there's 3 ways to turn this script into a video. And there's 3 ways to do it. So the first way is to record yourself, just record yourself talking. The second way is to hire somebody else, like a professional paid spokesman, to record themselves. And the third way is to use AI. And I'm going to show you I'll give you a quick rundown on how to do each of those. So if you're going to record yourself, you don't really have to worry so much about having high production quality. What I recommend is if you have like a fancy camera, like a DSLR camera, then use that. Otherwise, just a phone camera is probably perfectly fine. I mean, unless you have a phone from like 10 years ago. But if you have a relatively modern smartphone, then the camera is going to work just fine. What you do, or this is my method anyway, is you put first of all, you minimize your script window, you make it small, and you put it like, you want to make it smaller than this, but just to kind of demonstrate. And this actually works better in Microsoft Word than in Google Sheets, so I use Word for this. But you put it here, and you put your camera right off the screen, right beside where your script is, and then you read the script line by line, and you're looking at the script, you're not looking at the camera. And then when you're in editing, which I'll show you in just a minute, you can make it look like you're looking directly in the camera. So that's how I usually do it. And then if you don't have, like, if you're just using a smartphone, you're going to have to figure out a way to kind of hold up the phone. And you can get just a simple, like a super simple little tripod. Like this is what I use here. It's a DSLR camera, and it's got this little tiny tripod, which really this thing was meant for a phone. I use it for my camera, and I have a printer sitting right beside my computer monitor. And so the top of the printer is flat. So I literally just set that little tripod with the camera on top of the printer. So you can finagle something like that, get a stack of books or something, just make it roughly eye level or face level. Mine's actually a little bit lower. Mine's like down here, like neck level. But it doesn't matter a whole lot. And then the only other thing that really matters is making sure that the lighting is working for you. So the best way to do that is just have a light source coming from in front of you. If you have a light behind you, it's going to look bad. It's going to make you look super dark by contrast. So have the light coming in ahead of you. So if you can see like what I look like right now, my picture looks pretty good. It's because I have the window right in front of me and it's daylight. So then once you got that all set up, all you do is hit record on your camera, and then you read through your script. And I just use a wireless mouse, and I use the little tracking pad to scroll up and down, and I just hold it in my hand as I'm reading the script, and I read it like this. So it's like, did you know that now business owners can get up to $500,000 funding even if their credit isn't good? I know that sounds crazy, but it's true, and etc. So that's if you want to do it yourself. That's pretty much the whole, like, how I do it, and it works really well. And I'm going to show you how to do that eye contact thing in just a minute. The second way that you can do this, if you don't want to record it yourself, is you just hire somebody. So I like to go over to Fiverr. It's Fiverr with 2 R's.com. And then under what service are you looking for today? Search for spokesman or spokesperson. If you're looking for a woman. If you have a particular look in mind, like a certain age and gender or something, then you can look, and there's all these people that'll record your video for you. So, okay. So there's a blonde British lady. There's another younger lady. There's a young man, and just kind of choose the look that looks best for you, and look at this American young guy. And look at the prices too. They're different prices. But anyway, there's like a gazillion spokespeople that you can hire that will just do it for you. And a lot of times I think they'll edit the video for you as well, which is kind of nice. So that's the second way you can do it. And then the third way you can do it is using AI. So that I like to use this thing called invideo.io, and I am not logged in. That's a pain. This thing is really cool. I literally just copy and paste a script into this, and it will create a video for me. And it takes a few minutes. Like I just copy and paste this. I say, make a video using this exact script, because it's a prompt. It's like an AI prompt. And then I'll just paste my script in there and hit generate a video. Now this takes like 5 minutes or so for it to actually generate. So I'm not going to demonstrate this right now, but I can show you maybe if it's got history. Maybe it's got some of my old ones that I've created. Okay, here's one. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to load. But basically what it does is it puts an AI voiceover over the video. And actually, I think I can't share sound, but it adds music, it adds B-roll in the background. So yeah, you probably can't hear it, but it's an AI voice. It's a almost human sounding voice. It's very, very close. And it's speaking my script, and it's showing these like B-roll footage in the background. And it just creates that by itself. And if you don't like it, then, or if you want to change something, you can just kind of tell it. You can give it a command. Like, for example, here's the last command I said. Reduce the music volume by 50% and remove the captions, because it had captions there. And I actually probably should have just left the captions, but sometimes it gets the captions wrong and I want to go back and edit them. So I'll do that in a later step. But anyway, this thing is amazing. It's invideo.io. You have to pay for it, but it's not very much. And so that's a third way. So you can either record, you can hire somebody else to record for you, or you can use AI, such as this. Now, the fourth step is to edit your video. So my favorite editing tool in the world is this one. It's called Descript. And I got a little test video that I put in here just to demonstrate. And I'll give you my link to Descript. If you decide to sign up for it, then I get a little percentage of the sale, and I appreciate it. chrisshute.com/Descript. But you get a free trial anyway, so if you want to just try it and see if it works, then that link will do that for you. So this is just a quick video I made on a webcam, which, by the way, I recommend that you make your video, if you're recording yourself, don't record your video on a webcam. Your smartphone camera is way better than your webcam, even if you have a nice webcam. Like I have a webcam that I bought that's 1080p and it attaches to my computer and whatnot. So it's better than just like the standard webcam that comes with the computer, but it's still like the smartphone picture quality is a lot better. So I'd rather use the smartphone rather than a webcam. But just for the sake of demonstration here, I used a webcam for this. So it's just a quick video of me. And if you can see on here, I'm not looking at the camera. So you can probably tell. It doesn't look like, if you look at this video, it doesn't look like I'm looking at you, right? Because I am looking off to the side as if I was reading a script. So what I can do is this right here. It's this visual effect called eye contact. And watch, I can turn it on and off. Watch what happens to my eyes. Watch my eyes as I turn it on and off. This is an AI generated effect where it makes it look like I'm looking directly at you instead of reading off the script. And if I hit play, then I'll start from the beginning. It's a short video.
This is a test video just to demonstrate the eye contact feature of the script.
You see how I'm making eye contact with you the whole time. So it's kind of like a little hack where you can just read off a script, but look without looking like you're reading off a script. It comes off as a lot better in my opinion. And then Oh, and Jim says, are you finding the in-video ads to be effective at converting, like at getting sales, I assume, or getting leads better than you doing it live yourself? I haven't noticed a huge difference. Like I said at the beginning, the message is really the most important thing. To me, like, all the production is kind of an afterthought. The message is really important. The one thing that I do think is important with the production, though, is you don't want to have like long spaces. And so if you have a long space in between sentences or something, or like a long space at the beginning, then that's increasing the probability that the person's going to get bored and hit skip. But other than that, it's not a huge deal. Mostly the message is the important thing. So editing your videos is a matter of you just import a video into the thing, and then you can edit the video by editing the text. So notice it wrote the text up here. I didn't write this. It transcribed it for me. And so if I want to get rid of a piece, I can just like highlight it and click delete, and then it deleted that part of the video, which is super cool. It makes editing videos super quick and super easy. And it will make mistakes in its transcription, by the way, which ironically, it misspelled its own name. Like everything else worked perfectly in that sentence, except it misspelled its own name. So I'm going to highlight that and click correct. And I'm just going to add a T at the end. And then what you can do from there is, I like to there's an audio effect called studio sound. This makes the sound quite a lot better, which is kind of cool. I can't demonstrate for you because the silly software won't let me share the sound, but you can take my word for it. And then the other part I wanted to show you is captions. I always like to put captions, and Descript will do it for you real easy. Just click on captions and click on just one of these. And I usually like to make it a little bigger. So if it's 60, I like to put it in 80. And I generally put it, if I'm speaking like this, I put it like right below my chin, or a little bit below the halfway point. So it'll give you that little pink line to show you you're at halfway point. I put it a little below. If you put it down here, then when it runs as an ad, there's going to be like there's going to be a little bar that kind of blocks it. So I like to put it a little higher like this. And then when I run it,
demonstrate the eye contact feature of the script.
It's going to show the text of what I'm saying, which I like to have both the audio of what I'm saying plus the text, because it kind of feeds two different learning styles, right? There's some people that pay attention better with audio and some people that are more visual. So I'm kind of hitting both of those. And so that's it. If you want to do and then you hit export and then download, and then that'll download the video. So that's it for doing your own editing. If you want to do your own editing, or if you don't want to do your own editing, then you can just hire somebody to do it for you. I prefer a site called upwork.com, and you can find a video editor on Upwork from all over the world. And there's some very talented people and that will work for good prices. This is the guy I'm using. If you want to use him, his name is Giovanni Favretto. He's very good. He's in Brazil. But if you want to find somebody, you just go to Hire Talent. I mean, you got to sign up for an account if you don't have one. And I can search it here. So I just search video editor, and it gives me like 50 million video editors all over the world with ratings and how much they did for other people. So like this guy's 87% job success. So 87% of his clients were happy. 100% of this guy's clients were happy. If it's anything less than like 95, I'm that doesn't bode well for me, because they'll do a terrible job and then harass you to death to give them a 5-star rating. I've been through all this myself. So yeah, probably this. I mean, this guy's 100%. He's earned over $1,000. Like probably this guy's good, and you can see some of their work usually. And yeah, anyway, and if I mean they're like $15 an hour. If you don't get a good one on the first one, then just hire somebody else, and it's really not a big deal because you're not paying very much. So yeah, that's it. That's the 4 steps. And if you want to learn how to, like, once you have the video in hand, the next step is to actually turn that video into a YouTube ad, which I've got another video on my channel, which shows you exactly step-by-step how to do that. And of course, again, how to do it in a way that works, that actually gets you leads and sales, rather than just, hey, here's how to push the buttons and get the thing running. It's like, no, I'm going to show you the settings that actually work. So if you're watching this on the video, then I'll give you a link to that.